So 70% of primary schools are reporting an increase in 5-year-olds starting school in nappies. And then there's this Gloucestershire counsellor who, she said, parents can't be bothered. Is that true?
No, I don't think it's parents can't be bothered. I think there's just no consistent training out there. Some parents have tried absolutely everything, like Hannah here, and they're just at their wits' end and they need more help.
So let's talk about you, Hannah, though, because you've got Grace, who's 4, and you've got Theo, who's 1, and you've been trying with her, haven't you, since she was about 2? So on and off, you've been trying to... Where have you got advice from? What sort of approach did you take?
I had some advice off health visitors, but obviously you see a different one every time you go because we don't have one health visitor.
And so was the advice consistent?
No.
And that's where the confusion came in?
Yeah.
What were they advising? What did they say?
The first time it was mentioned was at Grace's 2-year check-up, and she said you need to start thinking about potty training, and sort of said agreed. And the first thing was to put her in a pull-up and just sit her on a potty every 15 minutes.
Right.
I didn't entirely follow that. We had a book first that we read together and talked about it, but it didn't really work because a pull-up is essentially a nappy.
Yes, it's a bit confusing, actually, isn't it?
And then I went back and asked a few months later for a bit more advice, and was told just take her nappy off and let her run around and feel herself getting wet and things like that, which we did, but it upset her as she was holding everything. And I just sort of said, you have to sit on the potty, and she just got really upset with it.
And that led to her being constipated?
That was a bit later on, but yeah. After we'd kind of made some progress, we had a couple of weeks of... she was dry in the afternoons and stuff, and then her preschool wanted her in a pull-up until she was fully dry.
So that undid the hard work that you'd done, really?
Yeah, and she made herself constipated.
Yeah. So right now, within your family life, I mean, it's becoming really difficult and it's affecting all of you, and you feel like you've let her down. Yeah.
In what way?
I don't know if I should have done something different in the beginning. I probably should have. I don't know if I should have started at a different point. I just know she's starting school in September and I didn't want her to be that child.
And also, you can see that she's distressed. You don't want her to be distressed.
She is very upset about talking about it, approaching the subject. She sort of clams up and she'll run off. And
the other thing that is worth bearing in mind here as well is that Theo's 1, and there was also a lot of normal sibling jealousy that comes along. The baby came along, and
on
Grace,
her 3rd birthday.
On her 3rd birthday. So Grace suddenly is like, hang on a minute, I still want to be the baby, I'm still the baby, and there was a lot of that. So psychologically, a child does have to be ready for this also.
Yeah, 100%. And I feel that poor Hannah here, she's gone along at 2, and, you know, the health visitors, we've got amazing health visitors, but I don't think Grace was actually ready then. And what's happened is it's tried to be forced on her, and now she's got this thing where she doesn't want to do it, and she's become very sort of stuck in her ways, and it's almost frightened her a little bit, so we just need to inject some fun back into it.
And what do you think about what this counsellor said, that essentially she was saying you couldn't be bothered?
Well, I'd like to invite her to a week in my house. I have tried for 2 years on and off.
Yeah.
Grace was quite premature. I've worked really hard to try and make sure she meets all her milestones as much as possible, and this is the one that we have struggled with. But it's not through lack of hard work or me can't be bothered. My husband and I have both worked really hard with her.
It sounds like it. You can see how emotional you are talking about it. That's hardly somebody that can't be
bothered.
bothered.
She's very brave to talk about this.
I think it's absolutely amazing that Hannah's come on here today because, you know, I get hundreds of emails, and if everybody talked about it and it's OK, we can't be good at everything we do as parents, and toilet training is so hard.
And all children are different.
And all children are different. And, you know, I think it's so brave that Hannah's come on here today, and all you parents out there, you know, that are struggling, talk about it, you know, and talk to each other about it, and we can all share things that we've done and that have worked and things that haven't worked, but it's, you know, it's really, you know, really important that people like Hannah speak out about these things.
So what can you do then? Because for somebody like Grace that's had, for the last 2 years, 50% of her life, she's had different techniques of how to use a toilet, and now has been completely put off it. She's had constipation, all sorts of things that are not going to make her feel very good. What do you do for a child like her?
Well, we've spoke quite a lot, haven't we, Hannah? And, you know, Grace has got this thing where she's just frightened of the whole toilet training thing. She's going to school in September, and, you know, we can do this. And what we need to do is just start again, start a new system with her, inject some fun back into it. We've got a book that we're using with her and an animation, and we're doing some cards with her. And I think we've just got to make Grace realise that she's a big girl, it's OK to do it, and, you know, we've got to have a softer approach to it rather than enforcing it on her. And she's old enough, she understands now, but I just think it was just that little bit too early. And, you know, Hannah done her best as a mother. She's tried absolutely everything. I've spoken to her. You know, it's not lazy parenting, it's just that it didn't work with her. So I'm working very closely with Hannah at the moment, so we're very excited. She's already seen a bit of a change in her this last few days. So,
well, send our love to your family and good luck with the potty. Let's get by September that she's cracked it.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.